Look at this little feather I found outside. I think it's from a great spotted woodpecker. All the little white markings on there. I bet everyone's different as well. Incredible. Nature. Lovely. Anyway, back to business. I want to show you my brush. Look at this. Now then, it's just a brush, isn't it? But my grandson broke the handle off, typical. So what did I do? Most people chuck it in the bin, buy a new one. But not a scrimper. I riveted a new handle on it. Bit of old beech wood. Couple of rivets. Couple of washers. Perfectly alright. I've been using it for about a year like that. I just thought I'd show you that anyway. Not really anything to do with the video. Anyway, what have we got today? I've got a pile of wood here on the bench. Offcuts from what I was doing on my previous video, which about a bench. These are some of the offcuts off the legs of the bench. These are some bits from an old seat. Outdoor seat. I've got various bits and pieces of junk wood here which I'm going to use. And what I'm making is something for my daughter. I'm always making something for my daughters. She's bought a new shed and she wants some racking in there, some shelves. So naturally I'm asked to make some wooden ones. And being a scrimper, I'm not going to buy wood, so I'm going to make do what I've got. So I'm going to use some of this junk wood here. There's bits of old scaffolding plank and everything left over from yesterday, because I don't like wasting anything. For the sides, I wanted some longer pieces, say 56 inches long I think is the height. And I found these pieces here. Actually, it's an old bed. I found it in a skip, and I couldn't resist it. It amazes me that people throw things like this away. I suppose they've got no use for it. But it's the sides of a bed. But I reckon it'll do perfect. When I machined it, that piece is a bit wider. I've only got one of those and 3 of these, but that's enough. I need 4. Trouble is, once I've made this one, she'll want another one, won't she? So, but I can try this first. It's only going to be a simple thing. I like making simple things. You don't have to be too fussy. No fancy joints or anything. What I'm going to do next, I'm going to machine the wood down and cut these pieces up on the circular saw and make it into the right size strips. And basically, I think I'm just going to glue it and screw it together. Here's my pile of wood ready for machining. It's all different shapes and sizes. One thing to remember, when you are working with stuff like this, scaffolding plank, be very careful and make sure there's no nails in it or broken off nails or anything, because it will damage your tools. You'll notice this piece of wood here, which I'm going to use, looks perfectly acceptable on this side. There are some splits down here. But that won't matter, because by the time I've cut it down to size this way and that way, that will probably disappear and it'll be okay. But, you know, we shall soon see anyway. Now, before you start doing any circular sawing, a couple of things to mention. Very important. Make sure you've got some eye protection on, because you've only got 2 eyes and you do not want to get chips and things in your eyes. So always wear some eye protection. It's essential in my opinion. Also, always use ear defenders, because your hearing is quite precious, and you might end up, if you do it a lot, you might end up with tinnitus or something like that. Always try, when you're pushing the wood through, try not to stand behind the wood, because if it catches in the blade, pinches, sometimes what can happen, because timber has wild grain in it sometimes, as you cut through, the blade goes through, the top end tends to spring inwards, believe it or not, and it will pinch the back of the blade, and it can actually throw the wood back from the saw with tremendous force. I'm going to turn the saw on. It'll be a bit noisy. I'll put my goggles on, my eye protectors, and my headphones, and I'll start it up, and I'll do this piece, and I'll just do this piece just to show that I do actually do some work. Turn it on now. And always make sure, I should have said before, use a push stick. Don't use your fingers, not when you're getting close to the blade. Always use a push stick and push it right through. Well, there we are. There's my pile of machined timber. That's been through the circular saw. As you can see, this is a piece of the old scaffolding plank which was in really rough condition, but it's perfectly acceptable timber, and that can be reused, and much better to reuse it to make something useful than chuck it on the bonfire or whatever they do with it, or bury it in landfill maybe. Look at that. Do you know, I just love the smell of wood. I can't help sniffing when it's, especially this European redwood, which is oily. I always have to have a sniff when I cut it. I think I'm a wood sniffer, but I've always liked the smell of it, especially all wood, but especially this wood, European redwood. It's got an oily, turpentine smell, which I find quite nice. It makes the workshop smell nice when you're cutting it. Anyway, what I've got to do now, I've got to cut all these pieces into suitable lengths for the shelf sides, which is 13 inches. So how am I going to do that? Well, simply, I'm going to use my DeWalt radial arm saw over here, which you've probably seen before. It comes originally with, this is the size of the table you get. So what I've done, as you can see, I've built it into a long table which extends right the way along one side of the workshop as far as here, and right down the other end, right down there, look. And you'll notice there's another DeWalt radial arm saw on the end there. That's another story. Anyway, I'll get back to this one. So here's my DeWalt radial arm saw. Now I've got to cut these pieces off at 13 inches long. So what's the easiest way of doing it? Well, you'll notice along here I've got a tape measure I've stuck on. It's just a sewing measure with all the distances from the actual blade here, so that when I want to cut some pieces off, multiple pieces the same size, all I've got to do is put something like a block there on the, in this case 13 inches, and it's simple. I did make this special block device which fits over the fence, and then you've got a cam action here which locks it into place as you push it down. See, it closes up the legs on it and locks it on there. But I found it a bit fiddly, to be honest with you. I very rarely use that now. All I do, I've got a piece of wood with a cutout on the bottom and top. The reason for that is, if you put a plain piece with that end against there, as you saw, sawdust builds up there, so that when you push the wood along, it might not, you might get a bit shorter each time. If you have a little space there, it allows the sawdust to go in the space. Stupid little thing, but it makes a difference. So if you pop that on there on 13 inches, and I just use one of these simple clamps, you can use one or two if you want to be absolutely sure, like that. And then it's a simple matter, you put your wood on, chop the one end off to make a nice straight end, shove it along, and you can run off a whole load of pieces the same size in a few minutes. So I'm going to do a few now just to show you. Put me headgear on for safety. Here's the first piece. Turn the saw on, obviously. Take my phones off a minute. When I turn it on, you'll hear a noise. That's because I've got a built-in an old vacuum cleaner underneath the bench, which through here it sucks a lot of the sawdust. I think it's getting quite full because there's a lot of sawdust here. It doesn't take all of it, but it does take most of it, and it stops it coming in your face. So when I first turn it on, the light will come on, and the motor for the cleaner will come on, and then I'll press that to start the saw, but it'll be quite noisy. So put your headphones on if you're watching this. There we go. There we go. I'll turn the saw on. Just trim this one end off first. That's first piece. Second piece. Well, you get the idea. That's 3 done in pretty short time, and they'll all be exactly the same size, and I just repeat that for as many as I want. And I usually do a few extras when I'm doing a job, because it's always handy if one splits or something, or if you decide to change the design. I might actually do a video on radial arm saws later on, explaining why I've got 2 radial arm saws. One thing would be a good start, wouldn't it? Because they're really useful tools. I've had this one for 35 years, I reckon now. It's brilliant.